Okay, so thought I'd do a follow-up video on the should you buy a 9mm or another caliber. And I made this about a year ago. It was during the ammo scare, assault weapons ban scare. You know, nobody knew what was going to happen, so people go out and buy things up, and the shelves were empty for a long time. And then you've got arguments like, you know, well, what good is a toy without batteries, this and that. And I can see that. I mean, you know, if you're thinking short term, yeah, but I was telling people back then to just, like, if you wanted a 9mm, but, you know, you were second guessing it because you can't find ammo, I was saying get the 9mm if that's what you want. If you want a 45, get a 45. You want a 40, get a 40. But don't buy it because or not because there's ammo on the shelf or not, right? It's go with what you want. Go with what you're comfortable with, and if you want a 9, I highly recommend it because the ammo is usually pretty cheap and plentiful. I was saying that when the market cleared up, you'd be able to find ammo again, and it'd be no big deal. Now, you know, you can buy it and stock it up when it's cheaper, you know, that we can go shooting and whatnot. But yeah, and for those of y'all that were talking about reload, and I'll get to that in a bit. But I'm just curious how many people went out and bought like a 40 or 45. Maybe, you know, I get caught up in things sometimes. I mean, it could happen. You know, maybe just, hey, let me go grab this while I can. And, you know, just curious to how many people did, and how many people sold or thinking about selling, or, you know, they're wondering, hey, should I buy something and stock up now or whatever. I mean, I think now is a great time to go out and buy whatever you want. Like, let's say you want an AR-15, for example. Well, the companies were making them and throwing them out like crazy to fill demand. And so if you really wanted one, you got one, and other people that didn't, they got them as they came on the line. So now there's a bunch of them out there. The prices are, you know, if you look around, they're not that bad. Some of them are lower than they were before the whole thing started, so you'd be better off now. So now's the time. If you want something, go out and get it. If you didn't buy a 9mm because you can find ammo and that's what you wanted, hey, sell what you got or trade it and get what you wanted. And if you got, you know, wanted a 45 and you got a 45, well, good for you. Then you're set. But I was saying, when the market clears up, ammo is going to come back. If you want a 9mm, it's a very cheap round. You can go to the range. You know, I love 45. I had 3 of them. I've sold 2. I have 1 left. But the truth is, I can't really afford to shoot that thing whether there's an ammo scare or not, because the ammo is kind of expensive. You know, I don't want to go to the bank and get a loan to shoot all day. But you can do 9s pretty cheap. And 40, I don't have a 40, but I mean, it's right next to the shelf, right next to the 45, and the prices aren't that much lower. I mean, they're both much higher than 9mm, whether there's a scare or not. They're a higher price. That's just the way it is. So I'm just curious, and you know, how many of you guys went into the hype, which I'm guilty of. I do that sometimes. I mean, you know, maybe not on firearms or something in particular, but you know, it happens to us all. And you know, how many did I help anybody? Did anybody see the video? Hey, look, he's got a point. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to buy this 9, buy a box of ammo, and just keep it for self-defense until ammo comes back on the market and it's cheap again. I'm just kind of curious to that because, I mean, I try to help people out. I just wonder if it actually helps anybody out at all. But anyway, if there's something you want but you didn't get it because of what was going on, now is a great time to get it, guys. Stock up on what you want. And those of y'all that were like, well, I'm just going to reload ammo, something to think about. Just like I said back then, you know, it makes no sense to me. Now, maybe, you know, obviously there's going to be people out there that disagree, but you can stockpile ammo right now that it's cheap. Or you can go out there and you can stockpile cases, you can stockpile bullets, or, you know, whatever you need to cast your own bullets. If you do that, that's cool. You've got to stock powder, and of course you have to stock primers, and that was the one thing you could not find. That was not on Arms List. You couldn't find them on Craigslist, any gun site. I mean, the stores were out. All the primers were going into new ammo manufacture to manufacture new ammunition, right? So you couldn't find them out there. So the way I see it, and you know, just my opinion, but if you're going to go out and you're going to stock all the components to make ammunition, well, you might as well just stock up on ammunition, or make the ammunition and put it aside. Don't stock up on all the different components and just leave them in the closet. Put it aside, or just go out and get it. Right now, it'd be the best thing. I mean, really, you're not supposed to use reloads Once you do that, a lot of guns you void the warranty. So I don't recommend it for that reason. And you got to really know what you're doing. Have a good room, controlled environment. Because if you do it wrong, if there's moisture gets into that bullet, that's it. It's ruined. It's a dud. And that's supposed to last for a long time. It seals whatever is in there. So you need to have a room set up for that shit. So that's one thing to think about. Those of you guys that don't know about reloading, or gals, or whatever. But my main point. One point that I want to know, did I help anybody out there? Does anybody listen to my advice? And say you didn't see this, or you're like, oh, you know what, I disagree, which that's cool. You can disagree. Did you go out and buy something, and you're like, you know what, this ammo is kind of expensive, and going back now, I see 9 on the shelf, and it's cheaper than my 40 or 45 or whatever, and I'm gonna trade this in or sell it or whatever and go with that. I mean, I don't go with that idea. I mean, there was 50 cal on the shelf the whole time, right? And I never once thought about buying a Desert Eagle because, hey, I can find ammo for it, right? I didn't say I'm going to buy a Desert Eagle or a Smith & Wesson 500 because I can find ammo on the shelf at any gun store, any big gun store. No way, right? Because why? It's expensive. And let's just say there's another guy with some coin goes out there and buys up all in town. Well, then it's out for who knows how long. Then I'm really screwed. But 9, you can get on somewhere, you can trade or whatever, pay a little more if you have to, just have a box for self-defense. But anyway, did I help anybody? Did anybody buy something and now you watch the video, hey, look, I should have thought about that? Or are you the guy that's like, you know what, I wanted this back then, but I couldn't find it. Maybe I should get it. If that's you, go out and buy things now. Anyway, I hope these help somebody out there. You guys have a good one.